Sedimentation. Filtering. We know our parents are making tea at home daily. Yes. So large size particles of tea leaves will be retained by a strainer while the clear liquid will pass through. When we will making a tea, we cannot have the tea leaves together. We need to filter them through some kind of process. So for filtering those tea leaves, we'll be using a process called filtering. The separation method used for filtering tea leaves is filtering. The next method is sieving. A siever is similar to a strainer. Yes, the sieving is used to sieve and to separate the solid particles of different sizes. For example, bran from a fork, sand from a gravel, and etc. Churning. We have seen in olden days grandmas used to do these churnings regularly. But nowadays, we use the same process in mixie. Yes, when the very fine insoluble solids have to be separated from liquid, as in a butter, in a form of curds, we use the process called churning. Not only the butter and the buttermilk are obtained separately from the insoluble solids after churning, and it is used and consumed for different purposes. The next separation method, threshing. Threshings. So this threshing techniques is used by farmer. So it can be done by beating them hardly on the ground so that the grains from the stalks will be separated. So separating the grains from the stalk, they will be using a particular separation method called threshing. Winnowing. Yes, winnowing. After the threshing, there will be the dust particles with the stalks which is removed and the grain which is fallen on the ground. To remove the dust particles and the light heavy dust like husk, they may be using this winnowing method in the direction of a wind. When the high lightweight husk will get very easily blown away by a breeze or a wind, this property of method using to remove the dust particles is called winnowing. Hand picking. How do we identify a stone from a grain or a rice? Yes, the stones which are visible to the human eye, we can easily identify and pick it off from the grain. So they can be easily separated by just picking up by a hand. So this method will be calling as hand picking. Magnetic separation. Magnets. For this magnetic separations, we will be using magnets. The dust particles like iron and the other magnetic properties can be separated from non-magnetic substances by using magnet. Such substances are called magnet, that is magnetic field. So separating the solid using a magnet, we'll call it as magnetic separation. Sedimentation. Sedimentation. Sedimentation is used to separate the liquid from the solid, that is two different particles. The rices or the pulses, when it is washed with water, there will be light impurities which is floating on the water while the rice and the grains will sink under. So this process we'll call it as sedimentation. After the settling down of rice, we need to remove the water separately from the rice. So by pouring the impurities carefully, without disturbing the clean rice at the bottom, we'll call it as decantation. Do you know? The method of squeezing a cloth in washing machine, they will be using this centrifugation method which is used in churning. And the rice husks are very hard protecting covering of the grains of rice. In addition, for protecting rice, During the growing season, the husk can be used as a building material, fertilizers, insulation materials, and as even a fuel. Thank you.